friends. Welcome back to Self-Care in the Shitstorm. This is session 7, saying thank you. Now, I'm going to warn you, today's session may be difficult for some of you. I know it's difficult for me because today we're going to sit with the idea, and it's a tough one to sit with right now, of gratitude. Now, I just need to confess right up front. Some days I think I'm gratitude impaired. I'm embarrassed to say that I don't often do thankful very well. It isn't that somewhere deep within me I don't truly appreciate the abundance in my life. I'd like to think that I do. It's not that I don't treasure a family that loves me, a fairly intact body that still responds pretty well after over half a century, or a career doing something meaningful that gives me great joy. It's just that I'm so often busy being outraged by the failing state of the planet and of our nation that I get preoccupied with, well, being outraged. In the course of an ordinary day, I find myself frequently distracted by the fight for what should be. I forget to be grateful for what already is. It makes me irritable, it makes me impatient, and it gets in the way of simple joy, and it's a problem. Now, you may have noticed this same appreciation deficiency in you. It's a common affliction for empathetic human beings in difficult times because we're ordinary activists. We're by nature change agents. We're always looking ahead and pushing hard toward that new thing coming and troubled by the present thing. We are adept problem solvers, which means we're also keenly aware of the problems to begin with. And so in the face of so much discouraging news to weed through, we easily default to unrest because resting feels to us like surrender to the bad things. Our inaction feels like complicity with the malevolent people. In some fundamental way, all compassionate human beings want to create a different reality, which is a good and quite beautiful thing. But as a result, we tend to fail to appreciate reality as it is currently configured. We're prone to exasperation, to frustration, to anger, to not being able to look at life in the moment and simply say thank you to it. We talk a lot around here about hope. But if we're going to talk about hope, we really need to talk about gratitude first, because gratitude is sort of the rich soil where hopeful things can grow. It's a prerequisite for the kind of people that we want to be and the kind of work we want to do in the world, because hope is by its very nature aspirational. It's a propellant forward toward a time and a place where something is better than it is in this moment, where some of the wrong is made right. It's a view of something just beyond the horizon. Hope exists perpetually in the future. It's a soon to be, it's a yet to come, a one day soon, which means it's always just a little bit out of reach. And we need that right now. We need something that keeps us moving forward. But gratitude is something we can hold in the moment. It is present focused. It's savoring this breath, appreciating this version of life, celebrating this day. See, gratitude sits with contentment in today and dwells on what is already good there. And this is invaluable because when things get as jacked up as they are right now, the most difficult place to be grateful is at the intersection of here and now. And we can't afford to miss that. We need to find gratitude in the second that we're in, because that will lead us to the next step. And so this is true of you and me. Gratitude is the fuel for our resistance. Grateful people are the boldest activists and the most selfless advocates because they are fierce lovers of this life. I mean, all movements of justice and equality and diversity require thankful hearts that see something worth preserving or someone worth defending. As we do the work of changing the world, gratitude is the way we properly appreciate what we already have, even if nothing changed. Now, I want to tell you about a person I met a few years ago. Her name is Amy Copeland. I was on Facebook and I was just checking out some clips, and there was a video of this woman, and she was talking about being at Thanksgiving with her family, and they had a tradition of going around the table and saying what they're thankful for. It's nothing unusual. But she said that she gave thanks for her right knee. And she also talked about having deep affection for her elbows, the way they bring food into our mouths and perform all sorts of amazing feats. Now, such tiny and seemingly insignificant body parts might not merit a great deal of affection or even attention from us. But this woman, Amy, said she didn't miss the small things anymore. She said every blessing is a big one. And Amy's story was that in 2012, at the age of 22, after falling from a homemade zip line into a body of water in Georgia, her body was invaded by flesh-eating bacteria. And it shut down her vital organs and eventually claimed both of her hands, her right foot, and her entire left leg. And she was there recalling the moment in the hospital while still in a thick drug-induced haze, seeing her father holding up her severely damaged hands in front of her, asking for her consent to have the doctors amputate them in order to keep her alive. And I knew that I needed to talk to this person who could have gratitude in the middle of this sort of horrific situation. So I reached out to Amy and was able to spend some time getting to know her. And she talked about that very moment being in the emergency room. And she said, John, in that moment, the choice was easy. I knew I wanted to live. She said, I wanted to live so badly, I would have let them take everything. I would have been happy just being a head in a jar. And during those first excruciating and potentially hope-killing days in the hospital, Amy said she remembered a quote by Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl that helped her clarify this pivot point in her journey. And that quote is, everything can be taken from a human being, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And in that moment of unthinkable adversity, Amy chose her own way, and it's been a road paved with awe and thanksgiving and connectedness to the world. And Amy told me that before her accident, like most people, she operated from what she calls a not blank enough mindset, the feeling that she was not smart enough, not pretty enough, not successful enough. I imagine you have some of those voices in your head. She was perpetually frustrated, and the gratitude came when she began realizing that any given moment, even with these new monumental challenges and obstacles, she always had more than enough. Her sense of abundance now yielded a heart that was continually thankful, and not just for the pleasant things. Amy dispelled the rumor that doubts and anger and self-pity never come, or that she doesn't have those dark nights of the soul. She has those why me moments, but she said she simply sees them as reasons to be grateful too. She said to me, there is beauty in the raw tenderness of a broken heart. The anger and the sadness are part of being human. So Amy accepts pain and grief as tethered to her appreciation of this life. And I think that's so important to remember, that we are uniquely qualified by the pain we have experienced to go into the world and alleviate pain. This is elemental, and it's revelatory because our inability to be grateful often comes from our perceived deficits, what we don't have, what we haven't achieved, what we can't do. But when you've survived, doctors giving you a 1% chance to live and the loss of your appendages, you tend not to do that. You tend to see the victories and catalog the achievements and celebrate the milestones. And since her accident, Amy told me that she's made her life's work about helping other people find the similar gratitude in times of struggle. Now, gratitude, friends, is so important because gratitude allows us to be present. We need to be fully present right now to see people, to be aware of their pressing need and correctly positioned to respond to it, because these three critical things, people, their need, and our response, are also easy to miss because a million things threaten to distract our attention away. And the truth is, most of us are perpetually missing the present moment, always pulled by discontent or worry just slightly into the past or just a few steps ahead of where we are. But gratitude helps us be present for our lives already in progress. And think about your life. Your spouses need you. Your children are growing at blinding speed. Your friends are struggling with divorce, or your parents are getting older. These people all deserve the best of you. And there is a direct tether running between our sense of peace in the present and our ability to be grateful. The former can't be reached without the latter. We know this because we experience it physically on an almost cellular level. When stress and anxiety come, our breathing gets shallow and labored, right? Our heart rates rise. We struggle to get enough oxygen to properly fuel us. It isn't until we intentionally slow ourselves down that our lungs can expand and contract and we can fully breathe. And maybe that's a good way to think of gratitude as we engage a world where there's so much to be overwhelmed by, so much that can make us internally turbulent. That gratitude is as fundamental as breathing. When we're able to notice and celebrate the beauty and the blessings in the present, a new healthy normalcy comes. Like the inhale and exhale of our lungs, the more we practice gratitude, the more it becomes second nature and the more alive we actually feel. Friends, there's nothing more pressing or urgent or important than being both present for your life currently in progress and having gratitude in it. This will make you more available to people who are suffering, not less. So while the work of resisting injustice and protecting diversity and demanding equality has never been more necessary or urgent, while we spend ourselves on behalf of these things, we need to make sure that we don't miss life happening right in front of us. In days like this, living well isn't just the best revenge, it's also the greatest resistance. So today, take a inventory of the things you might have been missing that you should be grateful for. Be grateful for the simple stuff, the sun on your face or the wind through your hair, even the tears in your eyes or the pain in your body, because it's all beautiful. None of it is insignificant and it all merits gratitude. So give thanks for everything, even your knees and your elbows. So for today, just think about the stuff that you should treasure, the things that are beautiful and worth celebrating, even if nothing changed. So that's it for today, friends. Just do your best to say thank you. Peace.